What's up, Erica? How you doing? Peace, Cosmic My Eye. How you doing? And Will, what's happening? Yeah, let's get it. With that said, yeah, let's get it. So this video is to good to see you, good to be in contact with you. Put it that way. With all of y'all. This is something that's long overdue. Uh, what's happening now? Nice son. In 2017, I started a website called Masters of the Cosmos, and people supported and signed up for memberships and things of that nature. And I had all these grand plans for how I wanted to run things. And because my time and energy was split up, I couldn't, at that time, produce content as fast as I wanted, especially with people paying for a monthly membership. And I wasn't able to really utilize it how I wanted, because I think a lot of the stuff I put on there, it's one thing to supply information, it's another thing to teach how to use it. And I think what's more important than being deep and throwing out stuff is, I think my purpose, one of my purposes in this life, is to teach people how to be more confident, and also to learn how to learn. Man, my hair is off the chain. But anyway, and I think through all this time, that's the revelation I've had to come to. What's more important? What legacy do you really want to leave? Yes, son. No, wait. And it's that, what's more important, to provide a man or woman with fish, or to teach them how to... Okay,
I want to play upstairs.
Okay, go ahead, buddy. No, wait. You gotta take one more bite. Hold on. Come here. One more bite. Come here. Come on, man. Come on. So with that said, I need to apologize to the people who got memberships. And let me say it so I can look in the camera and you can see my eyes when I say it. I apologize, not because I swindled, so let's not to get it construed. I didn't swindle anybody or cheat anybody. But I did not post content at the rate that I wanted to. And the way that I do things is, I just like I do these videos. I'm not going to rush to put up videos if I ain't got nothing to say, or if I just don't feel like talking. Because I always got something to say. I just don't always feel like talking. But so what I decided to do is take a new direction, because another thing is that when you're doing memberships, I know what it's like to be, and there's different variations of poor, but I've got my own idea of what it is to be poor. I know what it is to really have to use a miracle and pay your rent with $2. That's just not something to say for entertainment. That's real. That's real life. I know what that feels like, and I know that if you got even a $7 membership that's gonna come through every month, that if you just now paid your rent with your last bit of money and your account might be already overdrawn, just that little $7 can add another $34 negative, or subtract another $34, or you might as well say $41. By the time you take the $7 plus the $34 overdraft fee, you $41 short. So this is what I decided to do. I don't do any more memberships. One, I don't want the pressure on me because of feeling like I'm cheating somebody because I'm not producing enough content. you know, and I want to do stuff when I want, because that's just the way I am. But when I do produce something, it's valuable. It's valuable because I don't mix and waste words. I don't always think people know how to use what I'm producing. So what I've shifted my focus more to is, like I said earlier, teaching or imparting how to learn upon people. And what that is being more revealing as far as how I learn. So I'm going to be doing things like this: posting notes on my website in PDF form. If you want to see how my mind works and how I piece things together, then you need to see how I do the investigative work behind the scenes to produce things that you necessarily can't find in the book. See, here's the other thing about a book. I recommend a lot of books, and I'm a big proponent of reading. But you can have a whole bunch of books and don't even know what you. It's just like having a gun and you ain't never been trained how to use it. It can become detrimental to you. So what if we start putting so much emphasis on, I'm gonna drop this science on you, versus, do you really know how to learn? If I gave you a Strong's Concordance, an etymology book, a Bible, could you take it and unfold the mysteries of the universe? Because if you know how to use those three books, you should. You can cut through a whole lot of confusion. With this group of people say they're this group say that, you can cut through all of the confusion if you really knew how to learn. And I'm not speaking directly, I'm speaking in generality, because I don't like when people talk down to folk as though that they're exalted. I'm not that guy. So when I say you, don't take it as though I'm being condescending. I'm saying in general that it's more important to know how to learn, as in know how to digest food, than it is to be fed food. If you constantly fed food and you don't know how to digest, it'll kill you. That's why when a human embryo is forming, the digestive system forms before the system of intake. The original mouth that forms is the anus. Giving you some jewels. The anus forms before the mouth. You got to have a way, and connected to that anus is the digestive tract. You got to know how to digest food before you take in food. So I'm like, man, that's my job. That's my job, because you go through these ebbs and flows of like, man, what's the point? People just want to be entertained, and you get jaded. But I feel like this is the way. Take myself out of it. Here, it's sitting up there. You want to get it? You get this on your own terms and you digest it on your own. But I am willing to give more in-depth explanation of what those notes are. Because still, it can be just like getting a book. If you don't know how to really decipher what I've written, or what and it's, like I said, I'm gonna put it in a PDF form, but it's unfolding the mysteries of this womb we live in. It's like being a murder detective. You are chasing down leads. You're going to places that you normally wouldn't go to or wouldn't expect to find a clue, because that is how you get to the core of something. You can't just do what's been done repeatedly. Well, maybe I'll try this. Maybe I'll try that, And the simplest of things become the greatest revelations. Okay? So let me give you something just to chew on. I'm gonna get this board. This is just a teaser, because I'm gonna do a real full presentation on this, and then I'm going to post the notes on my website, and you can like I might sell notes for $3. I might sell some of them. I'm gonna sell for 20, some for 10, just depending on what I think, at that moment, what I think they're worth. But therefore, if you don't have consistent money running through your account, you don't have to worry about, oh, this is gonna get drafted. It's like, okay, I got $2. I'm gonna get these notes. I got $10. I'm gonna get such and such. So just hold on. Let me get some. In the Bible, you have this character mentioned. His name is Nimrod. I don't know if it's backwards. It's backwards to me, but either way, Nimrod. Okay. This character, although very little is mentioned of him in the Bible, he is one of what's up, low key. Screwston, Texas. But Nimrod is the key to understanding numerology. I don't know if maybe anybody ever heard that before. Nimrod is the key to understanding numerology, because a number comes from the root, two roots. They're actually the same. Nim, and the other word is nimble. Numerology will explain your whole existence to you, or our existence in totality. And it's encased in these words right here. Okay, let me tell you how. Nim and nim, that's the same thing. Those roots, they're the same, just different vowels, but they're the same. Nim, okay? Well, nim, the root nim means to divide or allot, okay? Allot. 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 Allah. Allot. Female. The original version of Allah. Allot. Okay. So if we take that and apply it to this word nimble, then this suffix bull, what does that sound like? Bull. What do they have every spring on the Iberian Peninsula in Spain? They have the running of the bulls. And the whole point is to kill this bull, because the bull is supposed to represent whom? Osiris. It's the tearing up of Osiris, okay? Now we know who Nimrod is. Okay. Bull coincides, when we talk about its root, where it comes from, bull coincides with the word blood. Also, phallus. They all come from the same root. Flower. These are all the same root family. They come from the same root. Okay? Now, so if we put that together, nimble means to divide the bull, or to divide the blood. Ladies and gentlemen, that's creation. That's the creation story. Because Nimrod, it's aversion. Aversion. Because Nimrod founded a place We're talking about mythology, a place called Shinar. Shinar. And if you go in your Bible, you'll see in the 11th chapter of Genesis that they built a tower called Babel. Okay? Let's make us a tower. That's our tower. Now that tower is also a phallus. That tower is also a flower. Okay? So and it's also, guess what else it is? It's a tongue. A tongue. Sword, rocket, phallus, flower, anything's pointing straight up, they all symbolize the same thing. Tongue. And we know at Babel, they all spoke what? The same tongue. So that means they had the same blood. This is also the number 1. Okay? All right? So the number 1 was, what does the story say? The number 1, the Tower of Babel, which represents the number 1, was torn down and everyone was scattered. Okay? Scattering of the blood. So this is the introduction to the book of Numbers. Numbering. So numbers don't exist. They only exist from 2 to 10. 1 is actually not a number because 1 is whole. Numbers begin after 1 divides itself into 2. Because what we say, a number means divide. Nim means divide. So after the 1 divided itself, that's when numbering starts. That's when the count starts. Okay? Let me give you a jewel. Let me give you a jewel just to back up what I'm saying here. And this is all Reader's Digest version. I'm going to do a in-depth little thing on this. But I want to show you something. Because Nimrod, when you look up the Hebrew, when you go, this is where Strong's Concordance come in. I'm going to do a thing on how to use a Strong's Concordance. Because if you know how to use a Strong's Concordance, man, all the stuff is just laid out for you. If you want to find out more about Nimrod, you got to look at his name and see what else his name means. And one of the names that coincide with Nimrod is Azusa. Azusa. Okay? Now that sounds very similar to Azura Mazda. Okay? But that also, Azusa, we go to the book of Enoch and we get a character named Azazel. That's Nimrod. Okay? Nimrod is also called a mighty hunter. Okay? So based on that in itself, mighty hunter, I then go, what I'm giving you is how I figure stuff out. It's detective work. Nimrod is called a mighty hunter. So then you gotta know, you gotta do enough studying to know what to correlate that to. So in Greek mythology, there's a character that's also called a mighty hunter, and his name is Orion. Oh, now the plot thickens. See? Now, if the reason that I made this, let me say this first. So if I want to know more about Nimrod, I go to the book of Enoch and read about Azazel. If I want to know more about Nimrod through Orion, I go through Greek mythology. Okay? Now, here's what the detective work don't stop there. It keeps going. If I want to know more about Nimrod, what's the connection between Nimrod and Orion? So let's just see if y'all paying attention. There we go. There we go on X-Men. Okay, you just answered the question. And I'm going to see if anybody, what is the connection that we made between Nimrod and Orion? Let's just Somebody just type it real quick for me. What's the connection between Nimrod and Orion? It's not a trick question. I already gave you the answer. Somebody, come on. Y'all make me feel like it. Yeah, come on. Feed my ego. There we go. There we go. There we go. Hunt. So if that was the correlative between those two, what do I need to go and do now? I need to look up the word hunt. So check this out. The word hunt coincides with the word hand. Always remember this. T and D are interchangeable when you're going back tracing language. That's why you got a Tahuti and a Dahuti. Okay? That's why you have two and you have the word duo. D and T. So see, T, D. Vowels are always interchangeable. So hunt becomes hand. Now then you got to think creatively. What does a hand do? A hand can grasp. Now this is a major piece of the investigative work right here. Grasp. Grasp. What else can grasp? Your mind. So we heard a lot of the scholars talk about there was a war between the Orions and the Syrians. That always puzzled me because I'm like, man, it seemed like this the same type energy. But this is the mystery. In my humble estimate, this is the mystery. The mystery is this. By tracking down what hunt means, and we're associating it to hand, and hand to grasp, and grasp then to mind, then we can say, and then we're going to associate, well, what I'll come back to, I'm getting ahead of myself. Grasp the mind. So if the mind represents the Orions, I've been talking on and on about hormones. Well, hormone comes from the word, how you spell that? Serum. Serum, I'm not going to do all the math to show you, but I can prove this. Serum traces back to Syrian. The war in heaven is the war between the mind and the hormones, ladies and gentlemen. The great conspiracy is you. The conspiracy is you, because it says Moses was drawn out of water. This is the water. This is the serum. These are the Syrians. This is Sirius. The Sirius connection is here. That's the Sirius connection. Your mind and your hormones. So if you want to control, if your greatest asset, the reason that you can create such beautiful music, the reason you wear such vibrant colors, you have that rhythm when you walk, it's all related to emotion. So the only way I can get you is to feed you what is your strong suit, your emotion. And when I do that, I then can have access to your mind and your hormones. Don't you just let that marinate what I'm really trying to say. There's no separation between no metaphysics and no body. They're all one. There's no separation between spirituality and your human body. It's all one. Oh, I got a lot. There's a big lull in teaching, a big lull, because you're separating the monks from the chumps now. It's time to take stuff to the next the next step? Have we been just being entertained by entertaining information and knowledge, or are we actually studying? Are we actually looking to apply things to the actual temple that I'm in? Or do I just dismiss things because I don't understand them and I just say, oh, that's just a bunch of garbage? Come on, man. And this stuff I'm talking about, guess how old it is? I ain't doing nothing new. You go and you gotta get the books. If you can find books from the 19th century, that's the 1800s, and the early 20th century, up to like 1940, they dropping. They mental health is God health. Oh, hold on. Were you listening to did I talk about that on here, Hera? Cause I called into the Zoe What show one day, and talked about Hera. Okay. Okay, well let me tell you how this okay. That's what's up. Okay, so let's talk about Hera real quick. Because it all ties in. Because if I want to, let me say this first. When you look at the number one, and you gotta study the Hebrew numbers. I was looking up numbers one day, and I got this Wycliffe Bible Encyclopedia, and I was looking up the word numbers, and something just jumped out at me. It said that the number one is in Hebrew, which is this word, Echid. Echid. That's the number one. There's several spellings for it. Echid. Okay. What does that sound like? Echid. Guess what it is? A head. It is a head, and it is a head. It's beautiful. It's beautiful how simple this stuff is. Okay? Number two is called Stein. 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 Stone. Okay? I'm not going to go through all these because that's for another time, but what this book said is that in Hebrew, everything has meaning in Hebrew. It's why it's important to study. Nothing is lost. Nothing's wasted. This word ehid is the only one of the Hebrew numerals that is an adjective. Let's go back to 7th grade English class. What is an adjective, ladies and gentlemen? I'll tell you. It's a modifier. And locator, I'm coming to you. I'm building up to your question. Adjective is a modifier. And guess what numbers 2 through 10? Those words that identify numbers 2 through 10, they're all considered to be nouns. And a noun is a state. State. So go back. If creation was the number one splitting itself up, but number one is the modifier. The split is they're all states. They're just states of itself. It is modifying itself. You are God modifying yourself. Every state you're in, every state you've been in, has been you modifying you. It modifying itself. So just like there's a big connection between there being 10 Sephirah or Sephiroth and these first 10 numbers. For the modification to take place at a more harmonious level, you need to be able to receive. You need to be able to receive yourself. And this is what Qibla or Kabbalah is. A Muslim faces wherever Mecca is to where you are. For me, it's northeast. That's Qibla. The same root, QBL, is Kabbalah. You're facing there to receive the power. When you face east, God bless C. Freeman L., you are facing your heart. That's the mystery. Qibla. So, this is where Lokeo's question came in about Hera. Hera. Check this out. And I'm glad I'm doing this where I can write it. You always want to look for anagrams when you look at a word, because stuff was hidden. What can anybody tell me if you unscramble those letters? What this is the goddess Hera from Greek mythology. And her name actually means, I think it means to receive. I might be, but it's something close to that. Thank you. Thank you, Prince Nakeem. Here. Hearing is to receive. No, we're using the same letters. Just taking the same letters. An anagram is using basically the same letters and creating a new word. But you're on to something. You're on to something because if it sounded like Hera, hair. But that's another conversation, because the hair would be the result of the reception. It would be the masculine response to the reception is the hair or the antennas or the phalli. These are all phalli or male sex organs coming out of our head. Because the mind is feminine. You have received and then it's coming out. That's another thing. Hera, here. And that was all I was saying on the Zoe thing, is that we collectively are lacking in the ability to listen. I mean, and I'm gonna go here. Free my hands up. Everybody, I see all the different things, like, you see a Bobby Hemmett lecture go up, and he's like, Bobby's my favorite teacher. Bobby's my master teacher. But you know what? I don't think people really listen. Because in the same breath, they'll say, I'm tired of life, and I just, I'm ready to end this and tear this up. But guess what? When it comes to studying that brother, I feel like I'm in authority. Let me tell you why. I studied him so close that I can categorize different versions of Bobby Hemmett for you. There's Bobby Hemmett 1992, 1993. There's Bobby Hemmett from 1994 to 1996. There was another version of Bobby Hemmett from 1996 up until 2000. There was another version of Bobby Hemmett when he was about to turn 40, from 2000, 2001 on up to like 2004 or 5 when he met his lady. And then that version was the last version we saw when he met his woman. So when you talk about how much you love Bobby Hemmett, many people are only talking about one aspect they've seen of him, because that is what resonated with them. You didn't study the whole man. He was changing. It's just like studying Martin Luther King. Don't just study, I had the dream speech. What I'm trying to teach people how to do is learn how to think. Critically think. Stop shouting out the part of a person that makes you feel good about where you at in your life. Study the whole body of work, because that man kept changing. And when he had that stroke and he was on that phone talking, after all them years of saying every day that you wake up is a bad day and all that. That man expressed that he wanted to live. And why ain't nobody talking about that? Why ain't nobody who was right up close to him talking about nothing about life? Miss me with the dumb shit. The man wanted to live. He was a young man and he was saying certain things. You get older, your perspective changes. I got somebody in my family who is fighting off a deadly disease. And I'm going to tell you something. It changed her. It changed her. Don't be so arrogant in your walk that you think you know every fucking thing that you can't change. I didn't want to curse, but fuck it, here we go. Always be open to change. Never stop learning. If you want to take the greatest thing from Bobby Hemmitt's legacy, it's never to stop learning. Getting online talking about how much you hate life is not no occultism. Fool. That's just a child who's upset and pitching a fit. There's no power in that. I want to alter my DNA. That's me. Because I got other little ones that's going to be here behind me. That's occult work. You got to separate occultism from being abstract. Abstract just means whatever I think is in, I want to be different. That's not occultism. Spirituality, metaphysics, occultism, they're all the same. And they're all everything. There is no separation. Go back and study. And I'm not talking down to, nobody. I'm talking to whoever. I'm talking to whoever. We need to learn how to be critical thinkers. How many people take notes when you watch a C. Freeman L video? How many people actually take notes when you watch a Bobby Hemmitt video? Or do you just watch it to get your fix? Is he just a clown entertainment for you? Are you actually looking to make a change in you? Not to get online and stunt. It never was about nobody else. It was always just about you. It was always just about me. The man wanted to live. Wants to live. And I do believe if he would have kept going, that he kept speaking, he might have made this transition to maybe some of the stuff we're talking about. I can back my shit up with scholarship. And you best believe that. Anything I say, I learned that first from my daddy. I learned that from my daddy when he would deal with church people. He'd smack them in their face with the scholarship. That's why I had such fondness for Bobby Hemmitt and C. Freeman L. and some of the other great scholars, Dr. Ben and these people, Leonard Jeffries, these people will smack you in your face with the scholarship. You can't freestyle everything. So let me say it again, because I got all off of what I got all off of track and everything. My goal is to encourage people to have more confidence by learning how to learn. learning how to learn. We grow up in a system where we're not taught how to learn. And when we think we're learning, we don't know the difference between learning and entertainment. We don't know the difference. So, don't go on trying to purchase nothing right now on my site because I'm still trying to do some tests to make sure everything is working right. And I'm gonna be putting up things. Like I said, I'm gonna be putting up my notes and things. And I don't know how I'm gonna do these things. As far as I might do a video site, and you can purchase them. But I think it's more important than just, you know, I'm gonna talk to you about the quantization and manipulation of the. I mean, come on, man. Come on, time out for, you know. My thing is always I want to try to find. It should always, no matter how complicated it is, you should always be able to find some type of synchronicity. That's why I'm telling you, one of the coldest people is at Santos. And it's funny, he's in California now. Santos Bonacci, I think that's how you say his last name. Now my man is cold. Now he cold now. And I want to move in that ilk, you know, as far as, you know, solidifying legacy. You know, he taught people how to learn. Namaste, namaste. So, anybody got any questions? I done come down off of my delirium there for. The floor is open. I know that was a very quick little explanation of the whole numerology stuff. Right on time. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad that, you know, go back and rewatch the video. Not to boost my ego. Hell, I don't get paid off this shit. It ain't like it's, you know. But so that if you didn't catch something, go back and rewatch so you can write the stuff down and then go and look it up. Can you expound on the role hormones play? Anything I say about hormones, I want you to understand, is limited because science is still trying to figure out hormones. What we do know, though, is that we can't say for sure what came first, the mind or the hormone. Did the chicken or the egg come first? We don't know. What we do know for sure is that, Okay, let me go look at it. See, he keeps telling me, Daddy, I built a tower. Synchronicity. What we do know is that they are forever intermingled in a relationship. So what we can study is what contributes to certain hormonal expression, and that's from external things that happen, that's from food, that's from how stress is applied. And that's one of the key things, is that you have stress that is somewhat outside of your control, and then you have stress that you can control. What we do know about hormone function is that they respond well when you become the author of your own stress. Yes, we can, but here's the thing, Erica. The mind is actually the hormones. It's the mind in this is the point of the numerology lesson at the beginning. The hormones are the different expressions of the mind. Build it again. Build it back up for me. Come on. So, when we just say I can take my mind, but let me give you an example. Science. What's wrong? Okay. Here. Here. Henry will let you play. Henry, let her play.
No.
Don't make it hard on yourself, buddy. What we do know, build it back for me right on. Facts, night son. It is that has a lot to do with the imbalance of hormones. So the thing about it is, when we say just taking our mind, hey. When we say just using our mind, then we gotta go into studying, well, what all affects your mind? For example, hold on, multitasking. Here. What do you say? What do you say? You're welcome. Here. Here, Henry. Here. Take it, boy. What do you say? Here. What do you say? You're welcome. Here. Okay. So, what we got to understand about the mind is that the mind is not somewhere in some abstract location. Yes, water does play a big part in it. It does play because hormones in the Bible would be Sarah. And that's why in the Quran, each chapter is called a surah, because it means a flow. A flow. And that's where your water. The hormones need to flow. That's one aspect of it. Your food also plays a big part. And we do know that for over 100 years, there's been an intentful study on the effects of sugar on hormone expression. A physiologist named Ader did a study back in 1964, and I got the documents, and they showed that when they gave rats a saccharin or saccharide, it's a form of sugar, and they gave the rats a drug that caused nausea. They found that so basically it was a form of cancer, let's just say that. When they took the nausea causing drug away and just gave the rats the sugar later on, the rats had the same response to the sugar as if the cancer causing agent had been given to them. More. Look. You want another one? If you don't quit taking his stuff, you're not gonna get any more. Go up there and get the blocks. Get the rest of them. You come down here and me and you will build something. All right, we're gonna have to cut this short because they've done well thus far. But we had 50 minutes. I done pushed it. What I really want to impress those when we say the mind is understand that the mind is not in some one place. Every cell in your body is a mind. That's why every cell has something called a membrane. Every cell. Every cell has a reproductive system. So as above, so below, as within, so without. So we're to a point that we can't be lazy, and not talking about you, Erica, but I'm saying in general, us as a collective. We can't be lazy in our approach and just say, oh, I take my mind because again, when Bobby Hemming had that stroke, he said a lot of things on that interview when he was talking to Eileen and Eileen's wife. He said a lot of stuff on there. Nobody talks about it.
Look at that.
You know, so and this just for me. For me, I don't care what nobody else do. I know that I have been to the extreme of just magic, and I've seen it work. I was able to keep a roof over our head with no money, but I could see things taking a toll on my body by being negligent of my body and getting too far to an extreme of saying, hey, you know, and trying to convince myself that I'm okay, that I can't wear none of my shit in my closet. Oh yeah, that's mundane, but it affects my mind. It affects my confidence. Don't play yourself and feel like you done put on 60 pounds, 100 pounds, it ain't having no effect on you. So my goal is to come back. I want all of it. I want full circle. You know, from this time last year, I'm down about 50 pounds, 50, 60 pounds. You know, and it's because, like, man, I got to a point, like, man, look at here now. Look at here. You got to get your shit back together. You got to take all this stuff you've learned and you got to start putting it together. That's what the number 4 represents. 4 is Arba in both Hebrew and Arabic. Arba. Now, Arba becomes Abra in Spanish, or Abir, that means door. The form is the door. This is the form, this is the door. All right. Did I? I hope I answered that for you, Eric. Anybody else? Yes, we said, yeah, water is definitely important. Let me go, hold on one second. Hey! Hey! Where y'all at? What y'all doing? Oh, you doing something? Okay, go ahead. All right, we got any other questions? So this is kind of the vein of where I want to go with these years of studying and so forth. What can we form out of this? We're gonna talk about numerology. So I never really do any sales pitches, you know. But part of the reason that I wasn't able to post more content, part of it too is that you just need to live a little more. A lot of stuff just comes from living. you know. Another thing too is that I'm not a person who, I'm not dependent on just sitting at home in front of my computer and waiting on people to send me donations and things. And I'm not knocking nobody that does that, but it's just not me. I won't even swap no swindle, so I'll sell you something. You know, and ain't nothing wrong with that. Everybody, everybody needs compensation for their whatever their gifts are, whatever their talents, their labor. Okay, um, so that's how I want to do things. I want to put up things that actually have value, and if you want to, support, you can. I'm trying to make it to where it's affordable. The one thing I didn't try to make affordable though is my book. Hold on. You can get these on my website. The Lies Behind the Times. I tell you right now, it's $99 and it's worth it if you know how to use it. Otherwise, it's just some hard paper wrapped around some soft paper. Times get hard enough, tissue paper. But if you know how to use it, it's what I think is for the way that I like to learn. I think the most valuable part of the book is in the back, and I don't think people know how, because I didn't explain in great enough depth how to use this. Because I've got these things everywhere. I had this up on my website for free. Nobody ever even, I don't even know if anybody downloaded those 72 wise words of God. Um, Hold on, let me text my wife back. See if I can. I'm back. Right on 25:8. Um, so in the back of my book, I got something called a word soup, and it's of the same ilk as that document I used to have on the website that was for free. I think now it's like $9.99 to get it, and then but know how to use it. The thing what I did is here. I took these are Indo-European root words. You can see here like gur, and it shows you scratch, scrape away, rough surface, rub, smear. It's showing you words that come from the same root family. Okay, in Greek we get crying. They're all associated with the same root. But you see, look at this: anoint. Okay, christen, grind, Christ, grain. So then if you want to just take the idea of Christ and really want to make it applicable, you know there's some type of scratching to get to something. That can change your whole, especially for people who are just now coming out of really being into a heavy religion, and you've been looking at Christ as like this abstract figure who was some man in a toga 2,000 years ago who suffered, and it's this projection to really understanding the energy. Then the etymology don't lie. Like I saw Rasheed Wallace today on a show. It's like Rasheed Wallace came up with the slogan, "Ball don't lie." Everybody took Rasheed Wallace thing and stole it. I had to remember that was Rasheed Wallace. Ball don't lie. Language don't lie. Etymology don't lie. So this is what I'm trying to get. These are keys back here. These are keys. Okay. One day I'm gonna sit down and we're gonna go through, and talk about. And I'm gonna say something too about this. If you get caught up in the front part of this book because you think it sounds hateful or whatever, then you need to learn Hera. Here. Don't look for what sounds good to you. Learn how to read looking for the knowledge. Because all the time we have to read these occult books and these new age books, and they refer to black people as savages, as heathens, as idiots, all the time. And we have to eat the fish and spit out the bones. So don't get in a tizzy if you read the beginning of this and some things don't necessarily sound too accommodating. So that's all I got. As always, remember this: stay down till you get up, and when you get up, stay down. Peace.